quite a stellar run so far. Recent history would suggest it could keep going, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, a lot of people would think that when you have monetary tightening from the Fed, that would traditionally be a negative for EM. And then a lot of people will tell you that, well, this time is different because EM countries and companies have termed out maturities on their bonds. They've reduced their dollar-denominated liabilities. They've generally decreased their reliance on the U.S. economy. But the truth is, we haven't actually had to really test that theory. And that's for one simple reason. The Fed has been hiking and now preparing to unwind its balance sheet at a period that's coincided with a loosening of U.S. financial conditions. So even though bond yields have ticked up to the psychologically important 2.2% level on Friday for the 10-year, they're still about 20 basis points lower than they were at the start of the year. And that combined with pretty good domestic conditions for EM, solid economic growth, reasonably stable political situations, as well as a jump in corporate profits, that's really created an ideal environment for the emerging market space. And we've seen that reflected in asset prices, right? We have EM equities, for instance, at a 6-year high now. You have spreads on EM bonds, both corporate and sovereign, that continue to tighten. And you've seen a lot of EM issuers take advantage of those lower borrowing costs to come into the market and sell debt.
Yeah, Tracy, so then what kind of EM bond issuance have we seen then?
Oh man, Angie, where should I start? A couple of my favorites. Petrobras said yesterday that it was looking to sell $2 billion worth of bonds. That's a pretty stunning turnaround if you think back to a year or two ago when a lot of investors wouldn't have touched Brazil for anything really, with a barge pole, let's say. Then you have the Ukraine. The Ukraine actually lowering price guidance on $3 billion worth of 15-year bonds to, I think it was about 7.3%. That's another stunning turnaround when you think just 3 years ago we had Russia annexing the Crimea. And then there's Tajikistan. Tajikistan also in the market with a Eurobond. They also lowered price guidance. My favorite bit of the Tajikistan debt story has to be the fact that they included a map of the country in the prospectus for the bond. So if you're an investor, you can figure out just who it is that you are actually lending money to.